episode 2151. Rizian Verk, or whatever the fuck his name is tripping me out, dude. Go check it out on Joe Rogan's podcast. Welcome to Truckers and Others. This is Kevin Ray. I have been tired, and I totally forgot, so today's Friday. I was supposed to, last night, or this morning at some point in time, get an episode ready to go for today, but I didn't, and I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm just gonna leave it alone. But dude, it doesn't feel like Friday. It does not feel like Friday, but I know it is Friday, so that's great. I'm enjoying it. Let's see. Yesterday I did not record an episode. I got stuck. I got a bunch of left lane hoggers yesterday. It was insane. So there was this red, I don't know, dedicated truck. I don't know who the fuck he was. But I passed him on the right because he was hogging the left lane. I'm like, what are you doing? There's nobody around. I'm driving I-35 into Iowa. There's nobody around at all. He's just hanging out in the left lane, and it's not in the part of the road where it's rough or anything. So I pass him on the right, and I keep on driving, and then I look in my rearview mirror, and I see him, and then eventually there was like a work zone. He had to get over to the right lane, and the guy, he was a left lane hogger for real. I don't know, I don't understand, and it didn't matter if like a bunch of traffic got up on him or not. He didn't give a fuck. He said, I'm driving in the fucking left lane. Maybe he's from a different country, and he just don't understand it quite yet. I don't know. And then I was dealing with another, like a car, and it was rough. It was a rough day trying to get around that fucking car, but I got around it. And it was just, I don't know, it was several people yesterday were just left lane hogging for no reason, and it was really fucking annoying. And then I hurried up, so the guy at the landfill that he needs to be there while I offload all these fucking totes and shit. He asked me to come in early yesterday, and so I made sure to get there early. I woke up at 4 a.m. Okay. Now I don't know the specific time, so I'm just gonna say I woke up at 4 a.m. and I wasn't like, I was awake the entire time, and I was getting ready, but I wasn't like trying to get ready in a quick manner like normal. I was just getting ready, got out of the house, drove to work, got the truck, got everything, and this is where this fucking guy that I work with, he is super high strung sometimes. He seems like he's not most of the time, but I think he is. But I follow him into the yard, the shop yard. And we both want to park. I want to park right next to him, is where I want to park. He wants to park at the very end of the lot. I want to park right next to him, just because that's the closest spot I can get to carry all my shit to my truck. And he pulls in, but he backs in. Defensive parking, or whatever the fuck. I don't know what the fuck it's called. But everybody is supposed to back in, except unless you're in like a car or whatever, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But if you're in a company truck, you're got to back in, or you're gonna get some shit for sure. And he swings over and starts to back in, and I start to pull into my spot, and he stops. He's honking. He's fucking screaming out the window. I'm like, what the fuck is your deal? So I stop. I don't pull in the rest of the way. He's still over there, like, he's not doing anything. He's like, what the fuck? Like, freaking the fuck out. So I just park my car, and I get out, and I walk up to his window. I'm like, you have a problem? Like, what's going on, man? He's like, I almost fucking hit you, you fucking dumbass. I'm like, No, dude. I I can clearly see you and everything that's going on. I didn't. We were never even close enough to get hit. Oh, come on. The fuck? How much room do you need to get on the fucking highway? Jesus Christ. A Camaro and a fucking Toyota just got up on the highway and they used the entire on ramp. They had a lot of fucking room. That looks like Cletus McFarland's toter home right there. I don't think it is though. But anyway, I don't understand. I slowed down. I slowed down, and then they were still not. I ran that fucking. The Camaro got up on the highway in front of me, but the fucking Toyota, I'm like, hey, you're gonna have to hit your brakes now because you had plenty of fucking room. You just decided to not fucking take it. I don't know. I can't help you. She's on her way back up here. I'm sure I'm gonna have a little finger pointing out the window to me or something. But people, learn how to fucking get on the goddamn highway. You're in the acceleration zone. Speed the fuck up. Get on the fucking highway. Can't be having fucking semis slow down uphill for every fucking Toyota on the fucking road. Anyways, he was all pissed off, freaking the fuck out. I'm like, dude, and I'm over there laughing. I'm like laughing. And he's like, I'm not laughing. I'm like, dude, chill the fuck out, dude. Learn to fucking park. Alright, we're gonna go around the fucking Camaro because apparently the Camaro loses a lot of speed going uphill. I don't know if he's got some vacuum fucking issues or what the fuck. You slow fucking Camaro. Oh, now he speeds up. Whatever the fuck. I don't give a shit. These motherfuckers piss me off today. So yeah, whatever. I don't know. I'm not gonna let this fucking guy screaming at me fucking ruin my day. I thought it was funny. He is not a morning person. He hadn't had his coffee. I don't know, but he's a freaking the fuck out. And another guy at the shop, I was telling him about it, and he's like, dude, yeah, he freaked the fuck out on me. I pulled into the shop and I went and parked my truck like I normally do, and he came over and he started screaming at the one of the managers over. Well, not screaming at the manager, but he was very upset about the person in the lifted black truck that pulled in the lot because they were leaving grooves and ruts and just doing burnouts throughout the parking lot or whatever. And I'm like, I'm the guy that drives the truck, and I promise you, I pulled in there at a fucking idle. It rolled all the way, like maybe not an idle, but I just rolled in there like I normally do. Like it's not a big, like I drive my Chevy Cruze in the lot where this guy would probably strangle me. I just fly in the fucking yard. I like I fuck some, I don't fuck anything up, but I don't know. And this must have been a little further back whenever we had just had the new gravel put in, and it was smushing out from the tires. I don't fucking know. I have no idea. The guy gets strung out easily. Gets freaked out, strung out. Um. So, anyways, I'm getting close to my fucking turn up here. 5 miles. Stay to the left. Okay. Um. Yeah, I don't know. And then I did my job. Oh, yeah. So I came in extra early, so it's still dark in the morning. I mean, it gets light at like 6 a.m. now, so it was still really dark when I got my truck and everything ready to go, and hit the road. And I was, looking at my times and everything's working out really well. At least I think. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get there at like 12:30, but I have to stop and grab a 5-hour energy at some point because I ran out of the case that I have of them at home, and I don't know, man. I made sure I grabbed bread that wasn't fucking moldy this time. My nice Italian bread was all moldy. I was like, oh, motherfucker. So I ate pizza the other day. But I just drove up there, and one of the last truck stops that I will see on my route up that way, I stop in there and I grab my stuff. I was there for less than 10 minutes. Like, everything went really quick. And hit the fucking road, got to the place at 9. And the fucking so apparently me showing up early an hour, and it ended up only being like an hour early. I usually get there like 9, between 9:45 and 10:30 is when I usually will get there, and I got there right at 9 this time. So I don't understand what the fuck happened, what was the issue, but I get in there, and the lady, the guardhouse won't open the gate until they confirm that I'm supposed to be there and all that shit, even though I come there twice a week, all the fucking time. And the lady will not answer the fucking radio. So 3 trucks went ahead of me, which is fine because we all go to different places, but 3 trucks go ahead of me. But it takes like 7 minutes to check in a truck. So I'm standing there just waiting for like half an hour. I'm like, dude, I showed up early so I could get the fuck going early, and you basically just took all my fucking time right here. And I get there, and then they're, all right, yeah, since you're extra early, the dock door that you need is going to be blocked. I'm like, extra early? I'm not that fucking early. So I go back there, and then I wait next to the dock that I'm supposed to be at, and the lady's like, yeah, we'll get that trailer moved out and then get you put in there. Now another like half hour goes by, and she comes out. She's like, "Yeah, we're actually going to load you at a different dock." I'm like, "What the hurry? Like, hey, do you guys understand that I showed up early?" And I told her because I drove past her. Like, after I get off the scale, I drive right past where she usually is hanging out in the fucking shed, just smoking cigarettes, and fucking telling horrible stories with her fucking foamy mouth. And I stop. She sees me and she flags me down, and that's when she was kind of telling me about the dock door and everything. She said, just wait there, and I'll get that trailer moved out for you." I'm like, okay. She's like, "You're early." I'm like, "I know. I got shit I got to do today. I need to get off of work early." Okay. Foamy mouth, fucking lady. And then yeah, so I ended up most of the fucking time that I gained was lost. So I ended up only showing up to I got to the landfill, um, much, not as early as I was wanting to. I wanted to get there at 1. That was the plan from the beginning of the day, and it seemed like everything went well except for the fucking place where I needed to get loaded. And they're not scheduled. None of this, I mean, this stuff is scheduled for the day, but earlier during this project, she's like, "Yeah, you can get here at 7 a.m. I'm here, right here. I'm here. You can come here at 7 a.m. if you want." I'm like, okay, you fucking weirdo. So, anyways, yeah, lost all my shit. But I called my dude, and he's like, yeah, man, I finally get to see my kids after 2 years, and I get to see them tomorrow. So the earlier you can get here, the earlier I can get out of here, because you're going to be my last truck of the day. I'm like, all right, man, dude, I really want you to get there, get everything done as early as possible. So I will try. And I tried. I really fucking tried. And, but I mean, he's then later on, he's like, well, I have to stay here till 3, so it doesn't really matter. I'm like, you motherfucker. Because I got there right at 1:30, I think. So I thought he was gonna leave right after me, but he's like, no, I have to stay here till 3. I'm like, oh well, all right, no problems. I wanted to get off early yesterday, also Thursday, because Thursday's payday, and that's when I was gonna buy all the parts for my truck and everything. So, yep, I get back to the shop. I hang out with the boss for just a little bit, just to kind of figure out what I'm doing, which was today. And get off, and I go pick up my son. I go take him to I buy chew and twisted tea, because that seems to be my freaking go-to right now, is twisted tea. So I buy all my chew for the next 2 weeks and my twisted teas, and then I go to my son's school and I grab him, and then I take him to the Napa, because Napa had the part that I needed for a lot less, like $20 less. Go to Napa, go in there, and I'll tell you about the line, like the O'Reilly's lines. Yeah, if there's 4 people in there waiting, it's going to be a while. But, maybe another guy will hop up on a register and help out people. Or that fucking crackhead outside has got the fucking, can you check my battery? It's like, oh, lady, get out of here. Get out of here, you fucking scroungy bitch. Anyway, go to Napa. They have 3 employees. Only one of them's running a register, and he's on the phone. And the other employee, like one of them, grabs a broom and he walks around and he starts sweeping some stuff up, and then he goes back and then puts the broom away, and then he starts checking trash cans and stuff. I'm like, hello? Like, I'm here waiting. Are you allowed to use the computer, fucking dumbass? And then, I don't know, we eventually got it. We got the master cylinder, a jug of brake fluid, and a steering wheel putter-oner, is what I'm going to call it. It's just a big, cheap-ass piece of metal with a fucking wing nut and stuff, so you can kind of get the steering wheel on. Buy all the stuff, get to the house, go inside. I look up YouTube videos on bench bleeding, just because I kind of understand the idea of it, but I wanted to make sure, and I wanted to see if anybody had like any cool tricks or special ways to do it. So I watch those, and then I call up my buddy. I'm like, hey man, if you want to come on over, I'm working on the truck. He's like, sure. But he was going to be a little bit later, which is fine. And I go out to my garage, and I start working on the brake booster, or the brake master cylinder. And I take it in there. I get my bench vise clamped down to my table, and I grabbed an old hat that I had, used that to make the clamps not put any divots in my new master cylinder. And then I open up the baggie of stuff, and there's like, I don't know, I'm not keen on the brakes and stuff. I mean, I'm good enough to like replace pads and rotors and shit like that, but I'm not like, when it comes to bleeding brakes, I understand how it works. but I'm going to have somebody else do it. I'm the pumper, okay? I'm the pumper. So, oh, this is my exit right up here. Um, anyways, I call up my neighbor. Oh no, I look through my garage because I know I had a self-bleeding kit that I used on my GMC that I had back in the day. It was just a little bottle that was basically a reservoir for brake fluid, and then it had the little hose that came out of the bleeder, and uh, you just pump into that. I don't know. And I was looking around for that, and I slightly remember throwing it away when I did my garage cleaning purge. I don't know if it was because the hoses were rock hard or the bottle was broken. I don't know what it was, but I threw all that shit away, and I had a bunch of old carburetors with old fuel line. I was like, all I need is some fucking clear tubing, and I had none. So I call up my neighbor that's a mechanic, and I'm like, hey man, what are you doing? He's like, just hanging out. Can I help you with something? I'm like, yeah, I got a new master cylinder. I need to bench bleed it. He's like, oh dude, I have the best fucking bleeder kit in the world. I'm like, oh, that's fucking awesome. He's like, dude, it's super easy. It's easy to hook up. It's easy to do everything, and it'll bleed them super quick. It's badass. I paid a lot of money for it. I don't know what the fuck it's. I'm like, okay, cool, dude. Hell yeah. He's like, oh, I don't have it. My son borrowed it, and he lives across town, and he never returned it to me. I'm like, oh. It's like, yeah, sorry. Gotta go. And then he hangs. I'm like, motherfucker. How you gonna fucking get me rock hard like that and then fucking let me down with my blue balls? Um, so I'm like, all right, well, let's work on the fucking steering wheel because this is done. I'm thinking about going to the parts store, but I'm like, let's work on the steering wheel. I got the tool for the steering wheel. This should make everything work out really well. And so I put the clamp on the steering column, crank that motherfucker down, and the little legs of because it's on the locking plate. Whenever you turn your car off and you steer your wheel and it locks in place, that's the locking plate, and that's the plate that I'm pushing down up against this big ass spring to put in this little keeper ring. And then that's all you got to do. Just put this little keeper ring in there, and boom, you're good. So I'm pushing down on it, and the clamp thing that I'm using it's a super cheap looking deal, but luckily it was half off. But so I got it for like $7 because they weren't going to rent one to me, which is fine. I'm clamping it down, and then it's all the way down as far as it's easy with hands. So I grab a wrench and I start pulling on that wing nut, and the legs of this tool spread out all the way to the edge and bend the fucking locking plate. I'm like, what the fuck? Apparently I pushed a little bit too much. So I'm like, alright. I take it all apart and I take the locking plate out and I use a hammer and I fucking try to flatten it out a little bit. I mean, it's not bent that bad. So I just flatten it out a little bit, and then I put the tool back on there, but this time I use a C-clamp to keep those legs from spreading out so I can get more pressure right next to the shaft. And I'm cranking the fuck out of this thing, and I cannot even see the fucking groove still. And I'm like, what the fuck? Now, the only thing I can think is that the steering column that I'm taking parts from, even though it looks the exact same other than it's for a manual, maybe the tolerances are a little bit different because I don't know. This big ass spring it doesn't need. I feel like it just needs a little bit of pressure to hold that plate up. Like it's nothing, just a little, like not a lot of pressure. But I got this spring fully compressed on this fucking tool. Like this is about to fucking punch me in the face. Is what it felt like every time I leaned my head over there. So eventually my buddy showed up and I was like, hey man, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing wrong, but I did. I was able to take everything apart, and inside the steering column there's a bearing and a washer. I took the washer out, and that gave me so little amount of room that I was able to get part of the ring, the snap ring, in there. And I'm speeding. I didn't know I was speeding that much. Oh well, it'll be fine. So it's so close, but I'm like, I don't know, I don't like that because now the spring is up against the side of a bearing. Now everything should rotate with itself. Actually, I don't know. I don't know how it's supposed to work out, but I'm like, motherfucker. So what do I do? Sorry, I'm driving here, trying to get around this truck. Yeah, my buddy comes over, and what we end up doing, because we both tried, we were hammering flathead screwdrivers down in there up against the ring, trying to get it to pop in there. Still nothing. So we take the spring out, and we just grind the spring down. And another thing we tried was so the steering shaft that goes down in through the firewall, there's like a keeper outside there that, like, it's a separation for the steering column or whatever. There's like a universal joint. I don't know what it is. I haven't seen it, but I'm guessing there's like a universal joint kind of inside of this sleeve thing that's bolted to the splines of the steering column. So I loosened that up because maybe because they put an aftermarket steering wheel on this truck, and maybe whenever they put it all back together, the steering shaft is just a hair too far in, and that's why I can't get to the snap ring. So I loosened that up and I hammered that thing down, and I tried again, and it's still not working. So yeah, we ended up grinding a little bit off of the spring. Just like cut off a whole, at the bottom where it's nice and flat, I just cut off a whole piece of that. And I was able to get this, still even after that, I was barely able to get the snap ring in there, which I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it was not wanting to work. But we got it in there, and the snap ring is, I'd say, 60% set, which is enough. Okay, I don't think it's gonna pop out or anything, and plus I'm gonna have a steering wheel bolted on here, so nothing is gonna come out. So I gave up. I just put everything back together, got the new steering wheel put on. Now I will need to work on the steering shaft because the steering wheel is completely sideways right now, and the wheels are completely straight. So I need to pull the shaft apart again and reset it on the splines to where the steering wheel is where it needs to be. And then we go in and we start bench bleeding because we ran up to the store. We grabbed some dinner for my wife, dinner for me, gas for my car, and bought a bleeder kit and some other stuff. And then picked up some groceries too. Like we did a lot. And hopefully I didn't miss my turn. No. I just stay on this for a long time, I think. Still got another hour and some. Hour and 45 minutes. So I got the steering wheel on, and then we go bench bleed, and I get the bleeder kit and start bleeding it, but it's still like, I don't know, like the hoses are too long for the bleeder kit. I'm depressing the plunger inside the master cylinder, and I can see the air bubbles coming up and out, but they don't go all the way through the tube. So as soon as I release the plunger, they just get sucked back into the system. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? So we're going past some mowers here. I cut the hoses down, and then that helped. And then I realized you do have to go like super slow. You have to like, so the air bubbles that are still in the tube, as you release the pressure and it's sucking the brake fluid back into the reservoir or back in from the bottom, those air bubbles will float up to the top of the tube. So you just got to kind of tap the clear line and keep those bubbles at the top as you're pulling the plunger out. And then the next time you press it, the bubbles they'll be able to shoot right through the end of the tube. And everything worked out fine. We got it bench bled. And then this is where I was kind of wondering what I should do with the master cylinder. I'd really like to just paint it black, like flat black, and I don't want it to be a rusty fucking master cylinder. I just want it to look, aged. And if I just leave it alone, every master cylinder, they just get completely covered in fucking surface rust. So I coated it in oil. I mean, I guess if I can keep it looking newish, that won't be so bad. If I just keep it coated in oil. But, and then that was about it. I went inside and went to bed. Then, I didn't go to bed. My boss called me. Said, hey, send you a pin drop for the thing you're doing tomorrow. You're going to go pick up 2 dumpsters out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like, it's right next to a place called Off the Grid. So, I'm currently not, it's not, I mean, it's 3 hours away, so it's not that, like, deep into nowhere. It's all along a road, so it's not like a crazy thing. But, woke up, came in, got this truck ready to go, and headed out to go grab some dumpsters. That's my duty today. Grab 2 dumpsters of trash. That's literally what it is. It's just trash. And take it to the landfill. I got the double rail, so I should be able to haul both dumpsters of trash down there. I gotta dump one and then take it off to the side and drop it, and then dump the secondary one and then put them back up on. I know how to do it. Everything will be fine. It just takes, it's like a lot of extra time. It's like, man. Other than that, doing well today. The kids are okay. So I don't know. My wife is talking about canceling this Omaha trip because my daughter is a little bit sick, and she says there's a chance of rain in Omaha. I'm like, okay. She's like, there's a slight chance it could be severe. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, Okay, so what? We have like 100% chance of severe weather out here, and sometimes they're wrong. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell until like the day before, the day of. So I wouldn't fucking worry about it because we're gonna go to the zoo, a children's museum, and do all this shit. But I don't know. Part of me is like, okay, because I did not install the master cylinder on my truck, and that's like the last. I just need to get all the tools out of the cab. I need to make sure the steering shaft is secured down. I need to put the brake booster or the brake reservoir back on, and then I think I'm fucking good. I think I'm good. So I was telling her last night, I'm like, all right, so either today, Friday, or Sunday, whenever we get back from Omaha, or Monday, I guess I'll be able to work on the truck, depending on how busy we are. Because if we're leaving on this trip, she's not going to want me out there working on the truck. She's going to want me inside, uh, helping pack up and stuff, get things ready to go on this trip. But she's talking about canceling it, and I think it would be a fun trip, and we already got it all booked, and everything's good to go. But if we don't go on this trip, I could probably drive my truck around this weekend because now I'll have brakes. Now I just got to figure out what's going on with the ignition and everything. Um, just need to get those two random wire, figure out what's going on with the wiring, what they unhooked from where, and where I need to hook them back up to where turning the key will turn the starter. Like that's because the key still, still have to have the key forward to have power. But I have two things for the starter that I can turn the starter whenever I want. So just need to kind of figure out what's going on with the wiring there, and then if the truck is up and running, and then I gotta blow out the brake lines, which I have three air compressors. One of them is 220, and I don't have a 220 plug set up, and it's got a lot of water in it, and it's my dad's old air compressor that he had back in the day, and I know it works, but so I got that air compressor. I got another little green one that's on wheels, but I plugged it in yesterday, and I got a hose set up for it and the air chuck and everything ready to go, but it was not building any pressure, so I don't know what's going on with that air compressor, but it needs work. And then make sure I don't miss my fucking turn here. I don't think I'm going to miss. I got 49 miles. And then I have a tiny little air compressor that was thrown away by somebody at our shop. It's just the cheap, tiny little air compressor. So, I don't know. Just need to get one of these air compressors to work so I can blow through the brake lines and get all that old gunk out of there. And I'm wondering if I should try to, like I was saying the other day, I wonder if I should try to, I don't know how to clean those, so I don't know I don't know. But if I blow it out, it should be fine. If I blow it out completely, which means I'm going to have brake lines that are fucking full of air, and I'm going to have a lot of bleeding to do. But now I have a bleeder kit, so maybe things will work out. Just got to pump the brakes and then use some tool to hold the brake pedal. Go over there to all four wheels, open the bleeders, close the bleeders, get back in, pump it, put the rod in there. It'd be way easier with two people because I could do each wheel at the same time. But I know the brake fluid that's in that thing, that whole system is not good. And then hopefully the wheel cylinders in the back don't explode with the new master cylinder that's fully bench bled. Yeah, I got it to where there's not even the minuscule bubbles coming through, so it's perfect. And yeah, I mean, technically, I could be driving this truck really soon. Like, it's getting close. It's getting fucking close. I got another buddy. He bought a 70 El Camino. I don't know. It's a single headlight. I texted him about it, just seeing what he's up to with it lately. And dude, it's a nice fucking car. Like, the interior's in good shape, the exterior's in good shape. He said there's a few rock chips along, like, it has trim that goes like 6 inches above the bottom of the door, all the way around the entire exterior of the car. And so he's repainting from the trim line down. And it used to be like a light gray, but he's going to paint it glossy black to match the rest of the car. And dude, that thing's going to be fucking sick once he's done with that. I guess he's talking about pulling the engine out, doing a little rebuild on the engine, and then putting in some performance parts. I don't know, maybe a cam. I don't even know what's in that. I don't know if it's a 454 or 427. I don't know. I have no idea what's in that El Camino. But, and then me, I don't know. I think the next thing is headlight bezels. Find a nice pair of headlight bezels. And as I was looking at it, the extra piece of trim, I don't know, if you watch the video whenever I was kind of going through on YouTube, through the truck, I found a piece of trim, and I don't know where the fuck it goes, but now I'm starting to think it might go to the lower part of the grill, because with the 79, it's got a totally different lower grill piece that covers up a different piece. So I'm thinking about taking that lower piece of trim off, doing new headlight bezels, and I'm pretty sure that piece of trim that I found goes right there. So yeah, that would be fucking cool if it does go there. But I don't know. It looks like an interior trim piece, which is weird. I don't think it either goes there or it doesn't go to the truck at all. But I think I've been talking to you guys' ear off enough for today. You'll hear this eventually. I need to get in with my fucking upload schedule. I really do enjoy doing the podcast. Yeah, I'm not great at it, but for me, for what I do, it's nice to say things out loud and really think some things through. Things sound different spoken out loud rather than rambling around in my head. So I do enjoy the podcast. It helps me really kind of figure some things out and maybe see some things I didn't see, and kind of maybe hold me a little bit accountable. Not that anybody really gives a fuck, but I give a little bit of a fuck. So if I say something on a podcast, I'm gonna try to follow through with some things if I say them out here publicly. And dude, I'm telling you, this square body deal has been, I'm so excited. I guess I'll talk a little bit more. So my buddy was over yesterday and we were talking about doing graphics on it, and maybe even, I'm like, I really don't like the paint, but if I just do a quick sand down, and then maybe I do use like a darker, more matte blue paint to it, it'll kind of hide the aqua blue, but it'll still match if I just leave it like a dark blue. I'm thinking like a navy blue, like a matte navy blue. And then, yeah, I think I am going to go ahead and get a stencil kit or something. And then my buddy has a vinyl cutter, so he can cut out, like, if I want to do a graphic. I was looking at the logo again for the Cedar Creek Lumber Company, and I think that's what I want to do. I definitely want to do that. But the logo, I don't really like. I like the basic logo, but I don't. I want to change the tree. I want to change the river. I want to change the mountains. I want to make it not look, because it looks like somebody just made it in fucking paint on their computer one day, and they're like, "Hey, look at this." And they're like, "Yeah." I want to add, more like Bob Ross style trees, I guess. I don't know. So I don't even know if I would, like, I'll do a stencil for the lettering and stuff, but I also do kind of like the hand painted. So if he gives me a stencil and then I can kind of outline it, I can use a paintbrush and kind of try to do the lettering myself. And I think hand brushed paint does look pretty good. I'm figuring this out right now on the air, right now. And then he gives me a stencil for or even just, I don't know, some sort of an image I can see. Because I am kind of artistic a little bit. I like to draw, but I like to use pencil because you can erase. So yeah, I don't know. Do that, and then I need to figure out something to do on the bed also. But yeah, this will all be done after I paint the truck. I think I am just going to go ahead and, because I'm not going to really fix much of the rust. I might put some, I guess I could get cab corners and just screw them on and rip out all that fucking foam, or at least some of it, and then just put some cab corners on there if they're cheap, Just throwing some simple cab corners just to kind of give it a little bit of a structure there. And then on the inside, I'm just going to get a flat piece of metal, throw it in the floorboard, throw some self-tappers in it probably, and then floor mats over that, or find some carpeting, throw in there, just to kind of keep air from coming in the cab. A lot of caulk. Gonna put a lot of caulking in there. And just drive it, buddy. Just fucking drive it. And then slowly work on it as I go. But it's to a really good point. It's to a good point. Everything's going well with it so far. Keep all 18 down, and I'll talk to you real soon. My name is Kevin Ray, and you're listening to Truckers and Others.